Welcome to the iDefine TV Business Spotlight series, where I, your host, CF Jackson, get to bring to you some of the most informative and inspiring guests. And today is no different. Today we have with us Rakshan Syed, the author of Embolden Women, Unapologetically Me. She is a lawyer, interior designer, and a successful IT and digital professional with a senior management position in a Fortune 100 company. From a young age, she had a sense of unease regarding the universal acceptance of gender biases and would challenge the norms that would discriminate against women. She is convinced women must be given opportunity to be self-sufficient without depending on others, with full control of their life. And there's a whole lot more we can unfold as we converse today, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you today. Welcome to the iDefine TV Business Spotlight series.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Now, I was thinking about everything that you are impacting, what you're doing, what your purpose to do. I said, where do we want to start? Because we can really start at a whole lot of places. And I want to start with the mindset, because it really begins with the mindset of what you're positioning to do and what you're helping women to do. And the question is that with the mindset, why is it that the mindset with most women are disconnected with themselves? What is causing them to be disconnected with their inner being? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Why is it the mindset is so important and their inner power is disconnecting the one and two the same?
So that's a very important question you asked there. I do cover that specifically in my book about fighting the mindset is harder than fighting the minds. As I talk about that, my main goal here is to explain to people that when you start to build something as the normal core of the society and people start to accept that, and then that is fully embedded in the mindsets of how people are living, believing that's the system it should be, that's where we start to not question things that are not normal, because we are in that normalization trap of that mindset of how society expects you to behave, act, or do. And I feel like even in today's day and age, even most educated women, they do hold back. They have this subconscious bias behind the upbringing, the background, or it could also be just the way they think that women are expected to act, behave, do things, that they do not want to question those because they carry that subconscious bias that society has against them as a normal acceptance because of that normalization trap. So to me, fighting the mindset is very important, because we need to come out of, if it's 1, 2, 3 people, it's the minds. But if it's the whole setup of the society, it is the mindset. And that mindset is very hard. And it is for everything that you do in life, right? If there is a mindset, that is the hardest part to fight versus the mind of one individual or two. But when it comes to women, not only is society already portraying women in boxes of what they should not do, where they should be, what they should do, but at the same time, we women also sometimes hold ourselves back because we are kind of succumbing to that mindsets. We're succumbing to others' subconscious biases and believing that to be the way the normality should be. And that's what my book is about. It's about breaking the barriers of the society and standing up for yourself, for your own unique traits and values and your identity of what you bring, and be full owner of it without a guilt, without somebody else controlling that. So basically, that's where it is, the mindset. We don't want others' mindsets to control us. We want us to be in full control of ourselves as women. And that's the part of my book that I'm championing to the women, is to influence, motivate, and build that support system for women. That's what the message is in my book that I kind of call upon.
Now, you mentioned that because you said it's really a challenge, because I said challenge, because we are birthed, like you stated, and we're cloaked with these titles, these intentions, this path as children. We want you to have the white picket fence, the husband, the education, all these things that we put on, and we've been wearing it for so long. And now the part is peeling back and really defining who we are, so that we can be truly ourselves. So let me ask you this: can you provide a tip or a strategy or something that when someone's listening to us, watching us, can tap into to say, well, how can I define or bring light to, because women are mostly, we what would I want to say? We dim our own light because of the fact that we dictated to what we should be. A woman should do this, you stay there, a woman should be that. But how can we bring light, start bringing that flicker with back into us? How someone watching us, a woman, say, okay, what can I do today to bring light, start being a breath of fresh air to who I'm purpose to be in this walk in my life?
First thing I kind of like encourage everybody to think is to start learning to be unapologetically me. That means who you are, true, authentic yourself.
Yeah.
Authenticity to me is the number one thing that we all should aim for.
Yeah.
If that authenticity means how I feel, how I think, how I want to act, that should be mine. It shouldn't be told and set by somebody else. So to me, that is the number one thing, irrespective of where you are in your life, in your career. It could be a young woman, it could be a high school girl, it could be a midlife woman, it could be old women. All of us have different phases of our lives. We expect different things, right? But the key part is, irrespective of where we are, we want to learn to be truly authentic to ourselves, number one. Number two, we need to really think about, am I being controlled by others' mindsets? Am I being controlled by others' thoughts and leads? Or am I doing things that I feel what makes me the happy, that gives me the full satisfaction? I feel like a lot of the times women are too much bogged down about defending themselves in the sense of, am I really giving my 100% to the family, to my boyfriend, to my husband? But the same thing, when you turn the tables around, men don't do that. They live their life. They're not thinking too much about how somebody is portraying them. They think that it's their entitlement to be who they are, which is great. I respect that. But what I want to do is turn that around and make sure that we women also have that. That is my number two, is make sure that you're not thinking what others want in you. Think what I want in me. And don't underestimate the power of you. I have that quote in the book. Never underestimate the power to be you. It's very important. Not only do you have to be authentic, but you need to know that you have full control of your life and you have the full empowerment to be who you are, without being concerned about what others think. I use an example in my book, and also I share this with a lot of my women when I'm coaching and mentoring them. One of the things that I tell them is, you don't have to feel guilty for prioritizing your career, your dreams, your goals, along with your family. I'm not saying you don't keep family as your number one, but men do that too, right? It's important for them. Family is important for men too, but that doesn't mean that they sacrifice something else for that. They balance both. It's the same thing that I'm asking. Let women do the same too. We can have our careers, we can have our goals, we can have our dreams, we can have our hobbies, passion, while we are raising families, while we are being part of the families. We don't have to sacrifice one for the other. And also, I feel like the more you start to miss out on things you enjoy, actually, you're not truly keeping your family happy. If you're not happy in here and here, you're not actually truly being who you are for your authentic self, right? So that itself is kind of not going to help you. Sometimes we start thinking that, oh, I have to sacrifice my career because I have to raise my kids. Oh, I have to let go of my passion here because I have to take care of my X or Y in the house. Not necessary. Let's start to think about, how do we negotiate with our partners, with our husbands, boyfriends, whoever you are with, significant other. We need to learn to negotiate our value. I think men do not ever let go of their dreams, goals, value of what they think they are. But we can easily take that backseat. Again, this comes from that mindset, from that society's barriers that have already become the barriers for women to be the way they should or should not do things. But for me, that's where we need to always remind ourselves, am I being authentic? Am I truly empowered? Am I in control of myself? Is somebody else's mind controlling me, or is it me who wants what I have right now in my life at this minute? And then don't sacrifice who I am. I am very important. Before I say I need to be mother, daughter, a sister, teacher, but I am myself very important. I feel like a lot of us women take a backseat for me versus others. That's the key message I have for the women.
Let me ask you this, because I'm gonna throw a wrench at you very quick. So you're going through this change, you're doing some new stuff, And you know you're gonna have those who are gonna look at you differently now because you're evolving. You're becoming something. You kind of you come out your cocoon. You becoming a butterfly. How do you engage a woman to how to defend that? How to combat that when people start seeing, because there are people going to fall to the wayside. Your significant other may have some challenges because you're changing and you don't want to have them fall to the wayside. But how does one manage that, friends and family, because people are used to you being in this particular box, but now you've thrown the box out the window and now you're emboldened. You're becoming this new woman. You're becoming not the new woman, the authentic you. So how can someone get past that little challenge that most likely will come about as they're unfolding?
No, that's a very good question, actually, a great question. So I think the first thing you want to do is have confidence and courage in yourself, because first you have to fully believe in who you are and own that. Then when anyone questions you, you will be very straightforward, very courageous to answer and bring them along, right? So number one, you have to make sure that you have settled for it, and that's the conviction and belief you have for what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then the other part is we all should know that life is an evolution. We all evolve, we all change, right? We can't be stagnant. What I was 20 at my age when I was 20 is not what I am now when I'm in my 40s, right? That's different stages of life, matures you, teaches you. As you age, you also become a little more courageous, a little more bold. And for women, I think it's most important for you to feel like it's okay. When I start where I start is the time it is, right? For example, I talk about it's okay to fail in anything that you do. Failure is part of life. Just because you've been failing in something for last 5, 10, 15 years doesn't mean you have to continue to fail. It's okay to start. And there is no such thing as failure. To me, failure is not a negative word. If you failed at something, that means there was something around it that did not align it for you to make it work. So if you are not bold enough to take a step at one point and now you want to do that, maybe because of this book you read, it's a great start. That doesn't mean that you have not done something for last 5, 10, 15 years. You've actually learned with every experience. You may have already knew subconsciously to be a bold woman, but you never did have the element that was needed to be that. And now you got that through this book or through my message. And so you have to just be honest and have that conversation with them. If someone says you've changed, yes, I've changed. I've changed for my betterment, for our betterment, for all of us women being that. I think that collective messaging that we can build and those people who are trying to go through that kind of transformation, that's what they should always say. It's not just about me changing. I am trying to bring in this change for all of us. Maybe you need to think about it. How do you want to partner with me on that? I think we need to change. Instead of being defensive on the question, become offensive on the question and tell them, why are they not part of what I have done? Come with me. Let's do this journey together.
It's kind of like who's it, like Dorothy, and we're now going on the what do you call it? She go well, you and unfortunately too at the same time when it comes to Dorothy, when she finally get to the actual, I can't remember the story, but it was everything she needed was in the lion, the Tin Man. They go and just find it's a fallacy of this guy behind this thing with the puppet. So it kind of found me on the Yellow Brick Road, but we're going somewhere else that we all have within us. Let me ask you this. Now, when it comes to women, because I come across women all the time and I'm a woman myself, it's the part about the self-value. It seems like women they don't value what they know. They don't value who they are. And they struggle with that component to reach the part of being authentic when it comes to being just themselves. How does a woman really unfold her self-value? Is it something is it self-talk, or she take the time to journal? What can she do to find the value within her to start moving towards being emboldened, being authentic, and talking to herself and being okay with having those, when she starts changing, falling to the wayside and knowing that people are going to possibly fall away that will not come back? How does one find that value in themselves?
So number one, read my book. For sure, you will learn how to appreciate yourself and value your own unique being of who you are. Having that said, I want you to know the reason I wrote this book, Embolden Women, Unapologetically Me, that's the whole point, that unapologetically me, if you pay attention to that, that's what it is, valuing yourself for who you are without any regrets, without any guilt, without any thought. And to do that, I think the key part is self-belief and self-efficacy. I use a lot of that self-efficacy word in my book, where I explain it's self-efficacy is that believing in something and willing to work towards it to want to achieve that, right? And to do that, I think that number one thing is, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you. So to me, that's what it is. Valuing yourself is your number one game. That is very important. But the reason you have to know how to value yourself is because if you know that if you have any thoughts in your mind, I'm feeling unappreciated, I'm not getting the recognition I need, be it at work, be it in the family, be it with friends, then you know something is off. I always tell women, go with your gut instinct. When your gut instinct says something, then you know something is off. It is really off. And at that time, then you have to analyze is it me? Am I letting others have that control over me, that they can undervalue me and I'm taking it? Or is there something I can change about me? And that's where that value piece comes in play, is that whole thought about my unique identity. What am I? Who am I? What do I bring to the table? Be it even, for example, I use an example for working women. Most of the time, women are not good at negotiating their value to their bosses for promotions or for advancement, but men do a great job of that. So that's one thing that I teach a lot of women is what you bring to the table. You're already there at a certain position in your career, then you have already achieved enough. That's why you're there. And usually when you talk to your bosses or to your new employer, it's not about what you already know. It's what I can learn from you and from this organization. But that is the negotiation. I'm bringing experience. You're giving me something new, and we both together can be a win, right? But at the same time, it's just that our cultural biases that teaches women to always hold back, don't talk too much, or don't put yourself out there. And I think those are the kind of things that shy you away from. So number one thing to value yourself is also to take out that shyness of speaking for yourself. I think it's okay to speak for yourself as long as you're not being pompous, you're being authentic, you're being original and truthful. To me, that honesty and truthfulness, if you have, and you're showing the value and how you pursue that value, that is very important. And I do give a lot of tips about how you build confidence, how you build courage, the self-efficacy portion, and how you stop falling in the normalization trap. I specifically covered that in the book. A normalization trap is something where things start to occur again and again, even in the wrong things, like how they may make fun of women in certain comedians do that all the time, like sexist joke on women. Many women just laugh at it and think that, oh, it's okay, chill pill, no big deal. But no, that is a big deal. Every time you're ignoring something like that, you are letting the society take a jab at you and continue to keep doing that. And that becomes like the other people's mindset to treat you that way. So value part is more than how do I value myself. It's more about, am I letting somebody unvalue myself somewhere? That value factor, I'm deteriorating it because I'm letting someone to do something to me as a woman. So never let that happen. You question that every time you see that. I think that's where you build your value prop. It's more about who I am and what I am. But at the same time, I don't want to just accept that normalization trap and let people do what they've been doing for years.
Because it sounds like, in terms of it's a collective situation, because if one woman stops something from happening that is not edifying her as a woman, then that means you're stopping it for another woman, because that same person or same whomever, it can be male or female, young or old, with that same mindset, go and perpetuate that same story somewhere else. So we as women are really helping one. We may not be together. You may be where you are, I am where I am, but I am collectively saying no to treating someone this way, or no speaking this way in front of me, because we're collectively in a line of women got to help one another. And it's kind of like a lineage between us, and it's really women supporting women and helping us come together. And because as you see on television, especially in music today, music is so not music today, where women are perpetuating this sexuality type of stuff. And I understand it's there. We are sensual women, we are sensual people, but then there's got to be a balance between that, because when they come off the music side, they're looking at women all like that. So I like where you're saying that we have to kind of put our foot down and helping, I guess, not someone negate us as being insufficient or lack of, because we got to put our foot down and not be fearful of somebody, getting it, make it an attitude, So I like that. So let me ask you this. So when it comes to someone getting your book and they're going to read it and they're going to feel like they may need some more of you, because the words are great, but they're going to want some of that conversation. Do you have coaching, one-on-one, group coaching? How do you facilitate more for someone to go through that part of becoming authentically, tongue tied today, unapologetically themselves today, to be truly themselves? How can they get in contact with you, or how do you do coaching, one-on-ones and group coaching?
So I usually work directly with whoever needs help when they reach out to me. And you can reach out to me through my email, through my text message, through my social media. I have a website called emboldenwomen.com. So if you go there, you can directly email me at rakshan@embolden.com. Rakshan@emboldenwomen.com. Or you can go to that site and you can submit a form to me. But I encourage a lot of people to directly communicate with me through an email. That way I can respond to them, schedule with them time. I am all about supporting and uplifting other women. So if anybody who's listening to this feels like you want to have a dialogue with me, just go to my website, again, emboldenwomen.com, or rakshan@emboldenwomen.com. You can email me, buy my book, read. Feel free to reach out to me with your feedback. And if you want to collaborate on any specific broader area in this topic, like I like to contribute towards girls' education. That is my passion. I want to help, be that voice. I feel like our voice is our biggest essence, and we want really not miss out on the opportunity. That's the reason why I wanted to do this interview with you, right? Reach those masses. And my passion is about how do I get through as many women as I can. And so please feel free to reach out to me through my website, again, emboldenwomen.com. And here's the preview of my book. This is what it looks like. It's Emboldened Women, Unapologetically Me. It is all about women owning their own identity, valuing themselves, learning how to fight the barriers of the so-called society norms, and also learning how to deal with different situations in life. There's no one shoe fits all. So my book is all about a problem, a solution, and a key takeaways from each of those. And I've tried to connect each chapter from one to another. That way you can see a whole ecosystem of all the things as women we deal with. And I've used a lot of real life stories with my family, friends, people I've encountered. So you will get to read that. And my goal is to reach as many women as possible through this book, to open that dialogue and conversation for uplifting and empowering women around the world.
Nice. I guess you had I had a question in my head, but you don't took it away. But I want to answer it in this direction. So once someone reads through your book, what would you like them to manifest, feel, to achieve, or accomplish once they work themselves? It's not, when you get a book, something like this, you don't want to just read it. You want to make sure you follow it and take the steps that's in it. So don't just read the book, but once they finish and done all the things that's in the book, what would you like to see them have accomplished or wanting to, I guess, yearn for at the end of this book?
I think the number one thing I'm hoping that women get out of my book is feel good about who you are, where you are, what you do. Never underestimate the power to be you. To me, that's what it is. That's being unapologetically. And then the key message, right? Like my title, Emboldened Women, Unapologetically Me. My key message for each reader is when you finish reading this book, you should really feel unapologetic for who you are. And it's not in the sense that you don't apologize when you do a mistake or something wrong. When I say unapologetic, it is to live your life boldly, guilt-free, with full authenticity for who you are, without being regretful, without being conscious of somebody else's opinion of you, without thinking about somebody else's mindset of who you should be. It's who you are, true to yourself. And my goal is whoever reads this book starts to believe in that unapologetically being themselves for who they are. And that's the key message. And I feel like when you do that, your confidence will be boosted. You'll be more bold and courageous. Your self-belief in yourself will be high. To me, that self-belief, I think that's what this will uplift for you as a woman. Also for other men who are allies of women, they will also be big champions by reading my book, be it for their daughters, their employees, for their community women members. I think it's not just book for women, it's for both men and women, but it is a message where we all as a society can support and uplift. But we know there is a lot of opportunity for improvement to empower women. We are not there yet, and we need to do that.
Now, I'm going to kind of like going backwards, kind of, but so where did you become emboldened in terms of unapologetic of who you are? What phase of your life where you like, I'm tired of that, and here I am. I am a woman. Hear me roar. When did you come into this place?
No, I love that question. To be honest, for me, my journey started long time ago, and I give a lot of credit to my father, my dad, who was a very progressive man living in India at the time when I was growing up, for always giving them the freedom to be me. And at that time, whenever I'm always been very opinionated about my thoughts and my needs and my beliefs, but he never discouraged me. He was my champion for being true to myself. Even though in the past I may not have realized I am being unapologetically me, that sense came to me in last few years when I started to think about writing the book, when I start to realize what is it that a lot of women struggle with? What is it that I have matured into being more evolved myself into being the woman I am today, right? Then when I was starting to look at that, that's when I realized that it is that authentic self. And that's where I felt, okay, I am very much unapologetic about myself when I'm with people at work, what I do with my family. I want to be true, honest, straightforward. Who I am is who I am, accept me for who I am kind. And that's where I started to realize, why is it important for every woman to do that? And that's where I think I realized, as I grew more into my experiences with work, more into my experiences with family, with friends, with community, that kind of stuck with me about being unapologetic is very important to you in life. And every time I was faced with a challenge, or be it in the family or at work, that was my first question I used to answer is, what should I be really doing here? And that's where I always got that answer subconsciously, if not consciously in the word, but something to say, just be who you are. I think that's what led me to write this book, Unapologetically Me.
I like it. That's. I think we've kind of wrapped that up pretty nicely because it comes into why this book is made available to any woman, person, women, allies, men, or whomever to get a copy because of the fact that it's a great place to be, in a place where you're whole and or even striving to be whole, because some people are living this broken and not even striving to be whole, and you may not ever totally get it done, but at least you're getting started now to be unapologetically who you're supposed to be, authentically you, and just being true to yourself and having fun on the path to reaching your best self every day. This is a great sounds it's a great read that anyone who's really, and it's always a good time to be you. It's always a good time to be you, and looking forward to being you. So I'm excited. Is there one final question or thing that I needed to ask you that I missed, that I didn't ask of you? Because I think this is a great book, and counseling and coaching, you should get it. But one thing you want to leave with our viewers that they should know, that, when they go to your website or they connect with you, that they're going to get X, Y, and Z, because you should get in contact with her. Hey.
No. So I think number one thing you'll get is that upliftment that you need to believe in yourself, that self-belief. If you are even struggling with any specific situation, school, work, family, and feel like undervalued, my book for sure will teach you how to value yourself, how to fight back for yourself, how to stand up for yourself. And that's what you'll get by communicating and collaborating with me. I'll teach you how you can value yourself, how you can negotiate everything in life, every part, be it business, work, family. There is always room for negotiation. Negotiation for your value, negotiation for your being, negotiation for what you deserve. That's what you will learn and get from collaborating with me, is that opportunity to value yourself, self-belief in yourself, and learn how to really smartly and collaboratively negotiate and get the true meaning for who you should be, where you should be, but also appreciation that you really deserve, that you know how to negotiate for that. I'll teach you that.
Bam, she done said it. That's it. So negotiation is the key phrase there because everything is a negotiation. Even as a kid, you was negotiating why you should go outside and play. So now you
Exactly.
negotiated why you should be your whole you. So I love it. Again, make sure you get a copy of her work. Make sure you get a copy of her book and jump over there to her website and connect with her because the time is now. It's always a good time to be you. I'm so excited. Thank you for allowing me to have you on the iDefine TV Business Spotlight series. And at the end of the day, I'm CF Jackson, and we are out of here.